Hi friends, in this video we'll have a look at class and object. So these are the basic of object-oriented programming in any language, like either it's in Python or C or C++, Java, C Sharp, you pick any language, this is a basic. First we'll look at a little bit of theory so that you get the understanding of why we go for class and object. Then we'll move on with the actual source code. Okay, so generally this comes handy when you are working in a larger project. When you are working for a small project when I say is like a small program, it will not make sense. So when you are working in a larger project, so that's where the object orientation will make more sense, because that's where your maintainability and representation of the objects becomes more meaningful. Okay, so for example, if you are trying to code, you are actually trying to solve a real world problem, right? So in that you will have a lot of elements. For let's take a ticket reservation system. A ticket can be represented as an object. Okay, the ticket will have attributes like a starting point, ending point, what is the price of ticket, who's traveling with it, and what time they are traveling it. These are attributes. Okay, so and the validity and other things are its behaviors. Okay, the same way if you are taking let's pick like bank. So you have you are writing a software for bank. The credit card becomes an object. Okay, you have a template, a credit card, and whenever you want to give it to a issuer to a user, it will be holding the value of the particular user, and you can start using it. Okay, so the same applies for any scenario. If you are writing a game, and if let's assume you are writing a shooting game, and all the enemies and you yourself will be an object. Okay, whenever somebody shoots you, your attribute like your life would be reducing a little bit till you die it. Okay, so the same way if you are shooting multiple, there are multiple enemies. So multiple objects would be created for every enemy, and whenever you shoot them, they'll get killed. That's the purpose of objects. Okay, the classes are nothing but a template for that object. So to give a crude example, if you are using an idli pan, the pan is the actual class, and every idli is the object. So the pan gives the shape or the structure for it. From that you instantiate every idli, whatever you want to have it. Okay, so let's check it out. So a class has two things. One is the first thing is its class name. Okay, with which you will call that guy, and the guy would have two things, a guy or a girl, whatever it is. It's an object. Okay, it has two things. One is the attributes, another one is the behaviors. Okay, for example, any variable you declare inside a class will hold a value that is called attributes. Any functions that you use it will reflect its behaviors. Okay, so that's the essence of a class. Okay, whenever you want to create an object, you give the same name, you create an object and then you instantiate the stuff. So why you need it? Why the heck we need a class? So only one thing, it is easy to replicate any number of instances, and if you modify it one place, the same modification will be reflected in all the objects whenever you have a template. And the main purpose is like it represents the real world things. For example, a student can be in class, and every student could be an instance of the student class. Okay, so every student will have its name, have his or her height and other things. So when you represent them, the class would be an encapsulation of variables and the functions into a single entity. Okay, so the attribute references could be like your name, whatever you want to do it, and class instantiant is like X and then the class name. So here the class name is the cricket underscore team. So I have X as the variable name and equal to cricket team. You can have that X into any variable name, whichever you want to use it. Okay, that's the purpose of class. Okay, let's go into a code and then check a real world example of what it is. So let's assume you are having a cricket team, and in the cricket team you have a player. Okay, So there would be 11 players. So every player will have their attributes. The player would have a name. He would be a cricket player, batsman, or a player, a bowler, or a all-rounder. Okay. So here I have set one class called player class, and it has two elements like the default name and then the age. Okay, and the player type, whether it's a substitute or whatever you want to set it, you can have it. So here there is a method called underscore init. That's called a constructor. So you don't need to call it. It will be automatically called whenever the object is constructed. Okay, whenever you say x equal to player or your object equal to player, this function will be automatically called. And the other function like check, it will be called whenever you do a dot and then the function name. Okay. The check could be that you can set the name for anything. For example, here I have an object called Sachin, and the player and his name is God, or his type is God, I would say, and God of cricket. Let's take it that way. And then if I call the function dot check, it will print what has attributes. Okay. The same way I have another player called Wall. So he is a batsman. And if I print wall.check, it will print the person age and the thing. Okay. So that's all that's how you instantiate an object. Okay. So here I had a template called player, and I can create any number of players just by 2 lines of code. Okay. You don't need to rewrite the entire code, and it will be automatically called. Let's run it and then check it. So let's check the init function, as I said, whether it's called automatically or not. So let's put a breakpoint and run it. So since I have put the breakpoint in the first constructor, so it's running it. I'm just going to step over. So the next step over is the next line it comes in. And I'm going to call the Sachin.check. Let me step into it. So it goes to the check function. So here if you see that the check function is nothing but just a print function. So I'm prints it. Okay. So that's how. So instead of check, if it is a game, it will be a shoot. Okay, shoot function will shoot it. Whenever it shoots it, if it is hit by the other object, it will reduce the particular value of the life or the ammunitions which he has got. Okay, so that simple as this. This is very, very important in any larger project. When you are playing with the bigger ones, you will start using this. Okay. So I'm just tracing all the lines one by one and then using it. Okay. So that's the basic of object orientation. You have a class. Class has two things: attributes and behaviors. Attributes are the stuff where it holds the values, and behaviors are the functions. You can call the behaviors using the dot. Okay. Let's go back to the exercise. I'll just give us a few exercises. There is something called module. Just tell me when to use the module, when to use a class. And there is a function called underscore new. Check it what it is. And there is something called magic methods. Try to Google it. What are the magic methods? And list a few magic methods. These are some of the activities which you can do it. I know this video is a little bit longer, but bear with me because I have to cover both the theoretical concept and the programming stuff in a single slide. Okay. Thank you, friends. Bye-bye.